Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Hare Krishna to everyone. We are continuing with chapter number 13 of Bhagavad Gita as it is, text number 23. उपद्रष्टानुमन्ता च भरता भोक्ता महेश्वरः परमात्मेति चाप्युक्तो देहेऽस्मिन् पुरुषः परः. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Yet, in this body, there is another, a transcendental enjoyer, who is the Lord, the Supreme Proprietor, who exists as the overseer and permitter, and who is known as the Super Soul. Om Agyanantimirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. So thank you all for joining, and we are continuing with chapter number 13. And today we are going to get a very good lesson, which is going to help us in our day-to-day life, is selfless service. Usually people in this material world are selfish, unfortunately, and only thinking about the self or the immediate family, etc. But here, Krishna is giving us knowledge about who he is. Of course, he's the Supreme Lord, but where is he situated? He's situated in everyone's heart as the Super Soul. And he is teaching us that if we can somehow or the other remember on a daily basis that I'm not this body, I'm the spirit soul. The soul is situated in the heart. And the Supreme Lord is also situated in the heart as the Super Soul, and whom we call Paramatma. So when we help ourselves first, then we can help the others. And how should that service be towards others? Is to give them knowledge about Krishna through the Bhagavad Gita. Distribute this knowledge to others. How? With love, with humility, and no expectation in return. It shouldn't be that I give you this knowledge and you give me this in return. No. So when we distribute this knowledge of Bhagavad Gita as an act of kindness, and if it is done in the spirit of devotion, with the intention of helping others, then we will be helping ourselves, because we are also understanding Bhagavad Gita while explaining to others. And that way we are helping others to break the cycle of birth and death. See? So Krishna is telling us in this verse that he's a transcendental enjoyer. So he's not talking about material enjoyment that we are so used to. No, he's the transcendental enjoyer. He's the Supreme Lord. He's the Supreme Proprietor of everything and everybody. He's the overseer because he's watching us 24/7. And most importantly, he is the permitter. Usually we think we do everything on our own. Everything, whatever good, bad, everything, we are doing it. No. Krishna has to sanction it. So if I have a desire, I make a choice, whether it's a good or bad desire, whatever, Krishna has to sanction it. Only then I'll be able to fulfill the desire. So here, Krishna is talking about himself as the super soul, and he travels with each and every living entity in each and every body that we take. So just because he's traveling with us means the spirit soul, from one body to another, doesn't mean he's an ordinary soul. No, he's the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And because he is the Supreme, he knows all the bodies. He knows what's going on in my mind, your mind, everybody's. He knows everything because he knows all the bodies. and he's the transcendental enjoyer. Now, even though he is watching over us, he is seeing what we are doing, what we are desiring, what is thinking, what we are willing, etc., he doesn't get affected by our activities. It shouldn't be that we do something wrong and Krishna says, "Oh my God, what are you doing now?" It doesn't matter to him. What, of course, it matters to him, but it doesn't affect him. Our activities do not affect him. He's just the overseer and the witness. You see? And because he is the Supreme Lord and present in all living entities, he sanctions our desires. In chapter number 15, we will hear where Krishna says, Sarva Sichaham Hridi Sanivishto. I'm situated in everyone's heart. Mataha Smritir Jnanam Apohanam Cha. He says, from my comes remembrance, knowledge, and forgetfulness. But we have to make the choice. What do we want? Do we want to remember him, forget him, or get his knowledge? And based on our desire, he will sanction it. You see? So when we are hearing so much about our minute independence, hearing about who Krishna is, who we are, then we should use our intelligence and make wise choices. See, when we make wise choices, then the consequences are really good, right? Then we will be able to, you can say, become self realized. Because the knowledge of the Bhagavad Gita is so powerful. It not only purifies us, but when we give this knowledge to others, Krishna says that's the highest welfare activity. Mostly people in general, they like to help others with money, with food, with clothing, etc. That's also good. But the best thing is to give this knowledge so they can understand why are they suffering? Why am I hungry every day? Why am I so miserable every day? How come I don't have a place to stay? I don't have food to eat. They will understand with the help of knowledge. Yes, we can give them food, clothing, whatever, but need to dovetail it in Krishna consciousness. Serve them. How? By giving this knowledge of the Bhagavad. Then, because we are talking to them about Krishna, who's the reservoir of pleasure, when they will understand Bhagavad Gita, they will also experience pleasure. That'll be automatic. There's no separate endeavor needed for that. You see, the scriptures tell us, Jivera Swarupoy Krishnera Nityadas, that our Swarup, our position, our constitutional position is to be a servant. And that we cannot deny because we are serving. We are serving the body, we are serving the senses, we are serving our boss, our family, country. Why not serve the supreme boss? That is the Supreme Lord Krishna. But when we serve, when we perform devotional service, there should be no expectation in return that, oh Lord, I do this for you and you do this for me. Then it becomes a business deal. Now, selfless service, when it is done without any motive, or a hidden agenda, as we call it, then that will bring real pleasure. You see, unfortunately, most people, they have a tendency to reject the Lord. They have a tendency to reject his sanction also. And why does that happen? Krishna tells us in the Bhagavad Gita, Prakriti kriyamanani gune karmani savir ahankar vimuhudatma karta hamiti manyate. It's ahankar, it is pride. When a person is very proud of their achievements or their possessions and they think all this is done by me, I am the ultimate authority, etc., that is when problem starts. And that is when the consciousness gets polluted and a person thinks, I don't need to accept anybody. They reject the Supreme Law, they reject everything. And this is all because of ahankar, which is pride. Now, a question may arise, why is Krishna accompanying us in all different species of life that we travel through? 8.4 million species. Why? Because he's our supreme father. And what does the father want? Father wants the child to be happy permanently, not temporary happiness. So he, being the supreme father, he's accompanying us to guide us. You see, so many people get the opportunity to hear the Bhagavad Gita, but they don't accept it, they don't take it up. Or even if they do, they don't take it up seriously. They take it up very casually. Oh, when I have time, I will hear the Bhagavad Gita. When I feel like, no. That is called misuse of minute independence. See, based on our past pious credit, we get the opportunity to hear Bhagavad Gita. Now, what we do with that opportunity depends upon us. And that is where we need to use our minute independence very wisely. Not if we are not interested in spirituality, if not interested in spiritual life, then what are we going to do? Just eat, sleep, and be merry. But that's not the purpose of human form of life, right? See, the Supreme Lord Krishna is so kind. He has given us the Bhagavad Gita, which is an owner's manual for the human beings. And He's given us the opportunity to associate with like minded people, with devotees who can guide us, who can teach us Bhagavad Gita. And He Himself is situated in the heart as the super soul, teaching us how to do selfless service. And we will be able to serve others selflessly only when we ourselves are qualified, right? How can we teach someone if we don't know? First, we need to become the teachers and then teach to others. And it all starts with mantra meditation. When we chant the holy names of the Lord, we get the mercy from the Supreme Lord to understand Bhagavad Gita and to give this knowledge to others also. So, mantra meditation on a daily basis is our source. You can say it's our spiritual battery that gives us the power to give this knowledge to others. And what is that mantra meditation? Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. That is selfless service. People say service to mankind is service to God. No, service to God is service to mankind. When we serve the Supreme Lord with devotional service, and when we give this knowledge to others and teach them how to perform devotional service, that is the right service to mankind. Supposing I'm drowning in an ocean and someone helps me, rescues me from drowning, then what should I do? I should help others who are drowning, right? So when we, though all the people who are in illusion, which we call Maya means that which is not, and that is illusion. The illusion being I am never going to die, illusion being I am this body, illusion being human life is meant for enjoying. All these are illusions, right? So most people are drowning in this ocean of illusion in this material world, and we need to save them. We need to be kind, we need to be compassionate and give this knowledge to others so that they can help themselves also. You see, the most common thing amongst all of us is we all want to be happy. We all want to be happy, but we don't know how, and we don't know where to find that happiness. Guess what? Bhagavad Gita tells us how to find that permanent happiness. You see, we have firm faith in our family, in our job, in our material life, and we want to continue to enjoy with family, friends, relatives, but we forget that happiness is short lived. For instance, we go on a holiday, okay, maybe a few days holiday or the weekend or the long weekend. Happiness is there, But when we come back home, we're back to the same grind, right? Going to work, taking care of family, and going, facing all these myths. So where is the happiness? It was very temporary. But Bhagavad Gita teaches us that we can get permanent happiness. But for that, we need to use our intelligence. The faith that we have that there is God, there is a Supreme Lord, the faith that we have that Bhagavad Gita is spoken by the Supreme Lord Sri Krishna, that faith, we need to make it very firm. How? By following this process that is given to us in the Bhagavad Gita. And then Krishna says, the path to liberation will open up. Then we will get liberated. Now, in next verse, Krishna says, one who understands this philosophy concerning material nature, the living entity, and the interaction of modes of material nature is sure to attain liberation. He will not take birth here again, regardless of his present position. So very powerful. So here, this verse is giving us a process of liberation, how to break the cycle of repeated birth and death. What do we need to do? We need to understand how this material nature works. We need to understand who we really are. And we need to understand what is my prescribed duty, how these three different modes of material nature are affecting us: goodness, passion, and ignorance. And best of all, how to transcend these three modes of material nature. Of course, next chapter, number 14, is entitled Modes of Material Nature. So we will learn a lot about how these different modes act upon us. And towards the end, Krishna will give us the formula by which we can transcend these three modes and go to the platform of pure goodness. But for that, we need to understand the Bhagavad Gita and need to follow. Then there will be no more birth in this material world. In other words, we need to qualify ourselves for liberation. So those who, Krishna is saying, those who do not follow the process given in the Bhagavad Gita, what do? They are forced to come back into this material world, which means take birth again, go through disease, old age, and death, and then be born again. We don't want that. We don't want to be on a Ferris wheel going up and down, up and down, up and down all the time. That can be very nauseating. That can be frustrating. How long can we sit in the Ferris wheel? How many rounds can we take, right? So this is what we've been doing over and over again. So if we don't want another body, we would need to take up the knowledge from Bhagavad Gita. Krishna is giving us that knowledge, you see. So now, the question is, how do we go back to the spiritual world? Well, good news. Take the knowledge from Bhagavad Gita and make a sincere endeavor. An endeavor to associate with devotees who are already practicing Bhagavad Gita. You see, Bhagavad Gita is considered like a GPS. And in GPS, like for instance, after this class, I have to go for graduation. Now, I need GPS because I have not been there and I need to reach there. How? First of all, I need to know where I am, right? First thing, we need to know where am I now. Then we need to understand where do I need to go, which means the address. And then when we punch in that information, then the GPS will give us directions, how to reach the destination. Same is what Bhagavad Gita does. It's our GPS system. It tells us who we are, where we are. We are in the material world, and it gives us directions to go back to the spiritual world. Krishna tells us in the Bhagavad Gita, Janma karma cha me divyam, evam yo veti tattva, tyaktva deham punarjanma, neti mameti suarjuna. If we don't want to come back into this material world, then we need to understand the transcendental nature of Krishna's appearance and his activities, which is mentioned in the Bhagavad Gita, which is mentioned in the Srimad Bhagavatam, right? But it is not easy to understand on our own. We need guidance. Excuse me. Just like anything we want to learn, we need a teacher. Now, in the next verse, number 25, Krishna talks about three ways how to perceive the super soul. Isn't that an important question? How do we perceive the super soul? We cannot see the super soul, so how do we perceive? So Krishna says there are three ways. One is meditation, another is by acquiring knowledge, and third way is working without fruitive desires. No more fruitive desires that, oh, I do this and I want to get this fruit out of it, and this is how I'm going to enjoy, right? So here, when he's talking about meditation, excuse me, when he's talking about meditation, he's talking about Ashtanga Yoga. You know, those Ashtanga yogis who go to a secluded place, maybe in the mountains, and then they meditate for a very long time. And their meditation is to think about the super soul in the heart. But in chapter 6 of the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna explained to us that in Kali Yuga, the yuga in which we are, this is a very difficult process to meditate. The other one he's talking about is, excuse me, knowledge. And he's talking about Sankhya Yoga. That is also quite difficult to understand, right? And then he's saying working without fruitive desires. That is called Nishkam Karma Yoga, which means we are doing our prescribed duty, but we do not have a desire to enjoy the fruits of our activities, which means we are detached from our work and there's no more karma involved in that. And in chapter 6 of Bhagavad Gita, then Krishna says, who's the topmost yogi? Yogi namapi sarvesham madgatirantar atmana. That topmost yogi is one who thinks of me within the heart. You see? And today's last verse that we are taking up is number 26, where Krishna says that some worship him by hearing from others. You see, we have a tendency to hear. We like to hear. Of course, we like to talk more than we hear. We are talkers more than listeners. We like to talk. Whenever I'm in a crowd and I watch people and I see that usually women talk a lot. You must have seen. They talk, 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 and the man is at starts doing that. So talking is something that we like to do, but we need to have a tendency to hear from authority, bona fide authority. And Krishna says when we hear from bona fide authority, then we can stop the cycle of birth and death. So hearing is the key word. But how do we hear? We hear with faith. We hear with knowledge. And when we take on that knowledge, then we can, when we apply that knowledge, then our faith will become very firm. Like it's called unshakable. No one can shake our faith. Then we will come to that stage of liberation and we'll be able to break the cycle of birth and death. So we started this class with selfless service, helping others. We need to help others to hear the Bhagavad Gita. That is selfless service. Teaching Bhagavad Gita to others is very dear to Krishna. We learn this in chapter 18, where Krishna tells Arjuna, one who distributes my knowledge to others is very dear to me. You see, with the process of hearing, we can progress spiritually. So when we hear the Maha Mantra, the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, that chanting of the Maha Mantra and hearing of it, it will help to cleanse our heart. So we are very fortunate that we are able to hear the Bhagavad Gita, and we should take advantage of this opportunity. And to be able to see, it's not possible to open the Bhagavad Gita and read and understand it. No. In chapter 9, Krishna tells Arjuna, it's a supreme secret. Raja Vidya, Raja Guhyam, it is a secret. So we cannot understand by just opening the Bhagavad Gita and reading. That is good. rather than not reading at all. But to be able to understand, we need to understand from a teacher. Otherwise, that knowledge, which is good, will just remain knowledge. If we don't put it into practice, then it just remains theory. That's all. And Krishna tells Arjuna in chapter 10, Tesham satata yuktanam bhajatam priti purvakam dadami buddhi. Buddhi means intelligence. So he says, those who worship me with love and devotion, I give them the intelligence by which they can know me. So for us to understand Bhagavad Gita, we need the mercy of the Supreme Lord. But we have to take that first step. Then Krishna is going to help us, right? See, the Supreme Lord is beyond our conception, beyond our perception. We cannot know him just by reading some books. We need to get his mercy. You see? We're very, very fortunate we have access to Bhagavad Gita as it is. So when we hear faithfully, then we will be able to understand the Bhagavad Gita, and then we'll be able to put it into practice. You see, what is the purpose of human form of life? It's very, very rare form. The purpose is to become self-realized. The one who tries to understand the meaning of life, tries to understand, why am I here in this material world? Why am I suffering? Where do I need to go from here? How can I end this cycle of misery? That person is considered sensible. You see? So first we help ourselves, then we can help others and do selfless service. And how should that selfless service be? It is serving Krishna through service to others. And what kind of service? Distributing this knowledge of Bhagavad Gita to them. How? With love, with humility, and no expectation in return. It shouldn't be, hey, I'm teaching you Bhagavad Gita and you got to give me this, this, and this. No, no expectation at all. Our job is to give this knowledge. If people want to take it, good. If they don't want to take it, it's okay, right? So when we give this knowledge of Bhagavad Gita out of act of kindness, and if it is done in the spirit of devotion with the intention of helping them, then not only will they be able to break the cycle of birth and death, but it's going to help us also. Why? Because this activity is very pleasing to Krishna and he will help us to become self-realized. And the first step of self-realization is to chant the holy names of the Lord. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Then we will be able to understand Bhagavad Gita, and that's the best selfless service. So I'm going to end now. If any of you have any questions or comments, you are very welcome to ask.